everybody. Welcome to the Ales and Tales podcast. We are up and live for the next episode. We're going to bring you a North Carolina episode brought to you by a good friend, Anthony.
North Kakalaki.
North Carolina.
That's right.
My buddy Anthony was able to get me some beer, and I'm excited to try it. He's excited for me to try it. It's a couple of his favorites. So I love it when listeners get us different beers to try. I'm okay with it. We're always okay with free samples, with that. Right?
Yes.
Anybody gives me free beer, I am not going to turn it down. Okay, so it is going to be, well, first off, let me introduce everybody, because I'm not in the swing of things yet. We had a long night last night. We'll discuss that. So, my co-hosts, regulars behind the camera, we got Jim McCarthy.
Hey. How you doing?
We got Ben Prieur with the awkward applause.
Here, hold on.
That's better. There we go. You get the big applause.
Yeah. Big applause. That's
and
right.
Our guest is Carly Duggan.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. Yeah. So, Carly and I were speaking a while back. We were at a get-together and found out that you're a big beer fan, IPA fan specifically, right?
Oh, yes. Love a hazy IPA.
Cool. And used to work at a brewery.
I did, back in Cleveland, Ohio.
That's awesome. So that'd be cool. Give you a chance to try a North Carolina one and give us your thoughts on that. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring a couple of beers today. This is going to be two different breweries. One is...
Two different breweries.
We've got Broomtail Brewing, and we have New Anthem Brewing. We've actually done a New Anthem one before. It was very good. So that was Kill the Headlights, I believe, and we liked it. Mm-hmm. So this is called Shade. It used to be called Throwing Shade, and this one is called the 910 Pale Ale. So excited to try these, see what they're going to be like, and give you some North Carolina brewery ideas in case you want to go visit.
910, I presume, being an area code.
It is. It is Wilmington, North Carolina.
Gotcha.
So if anybody has an excuse to go to the beach and find some new beers, here you go. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can find them where you are.
Family down there.
There's a lot of good beer coming out of North Carolina.
There's a ton.
Yeah.
You just went, didn't you go to Asheville recently?
Yeah, I love Asheville. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I just heard Barami just closed.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. It's a good one down.
It happens.
I think Carly was kind of born to do this. Listen to her voice. Talk, Carly.
Oh, yeah?
She's like, hi.
So the funny thing was, when I used to work at a restaurant, and people would always tell me that I had a great podcasting voice, or I should be on radio.
Right. NPR.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, success. Here we go. That's perfect. So let's start with Broomtail.
Yeah. Pale Ale.
So I'm going to put this one aside so it stays cool. And
So where's Broomtail out of?
They're both out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Both Wilmington. Okay.
Well, first off, how was everyone's weeks? I mean, it's been a while since we saw everybody. Yeah.
So let's talk. The week culminated in a charity boxing event last night, which was really cool. So Carly and I are in a networking group that has a young lady in there that fought for her charity, and actually the whole event is for charity. It was the Charlie Foundation for abused children, it was a great reason for you. It's a horrible thing, but it was a great way to get a ton of people together. They raised a ton of money.
They did.
It was awesome. Had a lot of shout out to Evan, by the way. Good job. That was a heck of a fight. So she went out there. We were all talking about the fact that you gotta. That's a brave thing to do. Just get up there, train for a few months, not be a boxer, and get out there.
88 days she was training. Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Go out there and start swinging for the fence.
88 days? Mm-hmm. Really? Wow.
Yeah, it just looks so exhausting. And I think she was saying that the boxing gloves, they're like really heavy. I don't remember how many pounds.
They'll weigh you down. I mean, they're generally,
I think they were like 3 pounds
12,
or 4 pounds.
Really? They had big gloves on.
I think that's what they are. I don't know. Anyway, you can tell there's some big old boxing gloves.
Were they wearing sumo suits? Was it kind of that?
16 ounces is a pretty big glove.
Is it ounces? Maybe it's ounces. I'm thinking of.
Well, so that'd be a pound. 16 ounces is a pound.
For a radio stunt one time, I actually had to take a couple of blows from an MMA fighter.
How'd that go for you?
Wow.
I was wearing a sumo suit, so I was okay. Right. But I still felt the impact from these guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't really think any impact is good impact necessarily.
No.
I talked to I have a buddy that used to box and just trying to figure, been hitting the heavy bag with him and trying to understand it. And he's like, it just comes down to some people like to get punched in the face and some don't. He's like, I love getting punched in the face. I'm good. I'm all right.
Even if they hit you in the nose?
Oh, that's my biggest fear. Like I got a hard nose, like bony kind of nose up here. Like the first time I get hit in my nose, it's breaking. 100%.
Well, that's the fight or flight decision maker right there. When you get popped in the nose, it's like you're either going to engage or you're going to run. And it's like, man,
I'm going to try to avoid getting popped in the nose.
Yeah. But sometimes you just can't, right? You know, sometimes
so far so good.
Yeah. We made it this far, right?
Yeah.
Right?
That and a throat punch. Yeah. We'll do it every time.
Throat punch. It's the one they don't see coming.
Well, I went to the grand opening of Prancing Horse of Ferrari, or of Nashville this
Prancing
week.
Horse of Ferrari.
Right.
Prancing Horse Ferrari of Nashville. And that was interesting only because Nick Saban was there, as well as the CEO of the company. And it was very interesting to me that the CEO got more cheers and applause than Nick Saban. That's not to say Nick Saban didn't, but the CEO, for a very good reason, got a lot more reception. And it was funny what he said. He says, you know what this means to have a Ferrari dealership in Nashville? And everyone was silent. He goes, it means y'all are rich.
Yeah,
and it was kind of funny.
Nashville's changing quite a bit.
Property values just went up.
Yep.
All right.
Until the Ferrari goes meow past your house. And
we got someone out by my house. I don't know, every week you can hear them out on the interstate and just revving. They just get out there just enough. Yeah.
Wow.
It's annoying as hell.
Open road.
Open road.
Part of the fun.
All right.
That sounds pretty cool.
Let's get some pours on, huh?
Sounds like a plan. All right, so let's see. So a couple things for our podcast listeners.
Are you social mediating as we're doing this?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the Broomtail description. So Broomtail Brewery was founded by husband and wife team Barry and Lisa Owings in 2014 as a way to share their love of brewing using her artistic ability and his scientific expertise. I love the fact that science is brought into beer.
Science.
Absolutely.
It's modern alchemy. It is to develop consistent, high-quality, delicious beer. Well, let's find out. I have a feeling it's going to be good.
I would hope that'd be the goal of every brewery, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Barry, a water chemist and formulator by profession. All right, it's like he was born to do this.
Yeah, I'm going to put some music with the description.
Nice. Began home brewing in 1990 with his friend Randy Shelton. The journey toward learning the process mechanically, chemically, and biologically to not only develop delicious beer, but to duplicate the recipes and statistically prove consistency had begun. That sounds like it was written by a scientist.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That was very sensual.
Indeed. So, a couple things. I'll show the can real quick, and also I'll have Carly describe the can to everybody who is on audio only. But so those of you who want to see it,
there you go.
There we go.
And Carly, I'll hand it to you. There you go. Tell people what you see.
All right. So we've got a pint of Broomtail Brewing Pale Ale beer, Wilmington, North Carolina. We've got a beautiful teal blue label. Some really cool scientific graphics.
Is anybody else picking up on the tone of the music? Your voice?
Funny.
I can't look at Jim and not laugh.
It fits so well. You look good in red.
This is fun.
She's blushing.
Yeah, it's very, you can tell that they put a lot of organization into the label. Everything's kind of like perfectly organized.
The logo looks nice too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Is that a horse?
Yeah, it's a horse, white horse with some like little scientific waves around it, I guess you could say. And yeah, it's like this teal blue and like kind of a neon green font.
So it's interesting. The back of the can, he's got a whole bunch. I'm assuming he is. I guess it's probably the scientist guy. Has all the different check boxes of all the different things that are going on in the beer. That's kind of neat. So it's got a label of everything that's going on.
Yeah, Galaxy hops, Citra hops, Azaca hops, the attributes, tasting notes.
I don't think I've had Azaca hops that I know of.
I've never heard of it.
I don't even know what they are.
Me neither.
I've never even heard the word Azaca before. So
It's stone fruit and tropical.
Ooh. All right. Well, let's find out.
All right, so I'm going to crack it open and pour some.
listen to the crack. Oh, listen to that. How that pours. Looks nice.
It's like beer.
Looks
It
like
does.
beer.
It's already a win.
Or when I went a few days without hydration. Badaksh.
That's bad. Even
No,
for me.
nobody gets that, I guess.
Oh, no, I get
Just
it.
leaving it alone.
Just leaving it alone.
I like a good bad joke, man.
Yeah.
Good bad joke.
Yeah, good bad joke. We talked about this last time.
All right.
All righty.
Evenly distribute.
Look at that
All right,
pour.
Ryan.
Nice, what you call that? It's not hay. It's a little darker than hay. Golden wheat
All
color.
right. So for the camera, that just went off. We're going back and forth.
There you go. There you
It's a
go.
pretty dark
Where's my
yellow.
shot at?
Nice dark
Looks good.
yellow. It's got a pretty thin head. It went away pretty quickly. Pretty small.
Was that because of the pour, though, or is that...
No, it depends. It depends on the way
A
it's
little bit,
brewed.
yeah.
Yeah.
It can be
But,
the pour, but
it's sticking
I'm awesome
around.
at pouring a beer, so no.
It smells good. I like
It
it.
does.
Okay, it's very mellow. That's not an extreme nose at all.
No, I mean, it's nice pale ale. Like everyone's going IPA these days, just ramping up the hops and bitterness and whatever else. And I like finding a good old school pale ale.
As I get older, I'm
Drinkable,
ramping up the
crushable.
bitterness. So,
I've always been a fan of bitter. I mean, I got into the porters and stouts really early, so I was okay with that. Bitter stout. Kind of grew on me quick, and it's the dryness of some IPAs that makes me pull away from them sometimes. They suck the moisture out of your mouth. This is good, nice and juicy.
it's almost
Hold on.
hydrating.
Before we get to the tasting, does anybody get any specific notes out of the nose at all?
Beer.
Yeah, that's what I get. That's what's weird. Is like there's it's not like sometimes you'll get like pineapple or this or that. There's none of that. It's just
I get a little
it
bit
tastes
of
like it
down-
smells like crisp beer.
Downtown Nashville on a Saturday afternoon.
Stale beer.
Can you pass me the can?
Yeah.
Check this bad boy out.
All right. Nothing like the microphone being all up in my way.
That's right.
Yeah, it's in the way of me drinking beer.
No, it's a clunk. Let me see.
Good thing they were on articulating arms that move. My goodness.
Yeah, but I'm lazy. My arm doesn't want to articulate to move the articulating arm. All right.
It's only 37 IBUs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Fruity,
not, it's
citrus,
not
tropical.
bitter. All right, what do we get out of this? It's
Pale ale.
yeah,
That's what you're looking for in a pale ale.
it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's
I like-
light and tasty.
5.2, 37 IBUs.
I wish I had more things to say about this. It's kind of weird. This is just a very straightforward.
It is. And I feel like for some reason this would complement a red wine.
Really?
Beer would complement a red wine.
Yeah, it just feels like it
Interesting.
would go well with like just a pairing of a red wine, like a Cabernet or something.
All right.
It would
It's
just mix together well.
I've never done like a beer with wine pairing. I've done, wine and food and beer. and
I've done
food
that
and-
plenty of times.
Well, not intentionally though.
Right,
I sat
right.
down and put my mind to, what beer would complement what wine.
Yeah.
I can see, so like a good Nelson Sauvin hop and pair it with a nice white of some sort. I don't know my whites well enough to know what it would pair with.
I'm not a big white guy, so. Well, I am a big white guy.
I was waiting for that.
I definitely prefer the red. I mean, there's certain whites I've had that I really like. My problem with the whites is they tend to go down a little too quick and too easy. And
Right.
It's nice
So
in the
many
summertime.
innuendos there. My goodness.
So I'm going to say that this is if you've had farmhouse ales that have a little bit of that kind
saison.
of that hay straw funk to it, like like a field, like a kind of a. I don't know, man. It just if you go into certain fields or into a barn and it has, you can tell that the hay has been kind of moldering for a little while, and you get that kind of mustiness. That's what I get at it. There's a little bit of a mustiness to it in the taste, not in the smell at all. It's very crisp.
You know what I learned recently is that there's a difference between hay and straw.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but
There's a
apparently
difference.
hay is much more volatile and can potentially explode. And straw is very light. So,
Straw is the hollow shaft, the bottom half of it, I think.
is it? I don't know.
so like the same plant, two different things, or is it two different?
I think.
I have no
Like
idea.
two different types of grasses or whatever.
Who
they
knew,
make it out
right?
of. Everybody that has a horse.
I guess so.
Didn't we end up like trying to figure something out last time and trying to learn something? We were looking it up. Like, we don't know this.
You never know where
got the
these
long
conversations
dead
go.
Learning with beer. Yeah, I wish I could tell people more about this beer, other than the fact that it's good.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I just
I mean,
want to chug it.
Yeah, this is very
It's
crushable.
very drinkable, very light. I feel like you could pair this with something with a lot of flavor, and it would go very well with that.
It'd go with a burger.
Yeah, with like
Cheese
horseradish.
plate,
Oh,
cheese and crackers.
This is a good beer, like a party beer.
Well, if I'm down at Wilmington and I'm on the beach, I'm at like the little beach bar cabana sitting out, this would be perfect. You know, down there with the waves crashing in. This is
It's
a perfect
light
little,
enough to be refreshing.
Exactly.
You could, you know, you said on a hot day, it'd still be good.
See, I would actually get a more of a fruity beer for that. That's the picture you're painting is makes sense for a more
Like daiquiri,
not a daiquiri.
pina colada,
He's more of a fruity guy. It's like,
sangria.
so,
Go back to that red wine. Thank you. That is the recognition I deserve for my joke.
That's right.
there you go.
We'll do the.
Okay, so we
That's
agree.
better. That's actually more accurate.
Yeah, definitely. We agree that it
ouch.
pairs with burgers. I mean, pizza.
Yeah.
I think this is a good
Yeah.
all-around beer. This would pair with
Charred
pretty much anything.
Barbecue chicken on the charcoal grill.
Yes. This is kind of
Amen.
It's not the Walmart of beers. I would say it's probably more of a Target or even a Coles.
Well, this is
Coles.
yeah.
This is like a Coles beer.
This is perfect because I mean, even though it's a pale ale, it's not too bitter and hoppy, and so your average Bud Light, Miller Lite drinker, if they walked into a craft beer place and they were served this, I think they'd be happy with it.
If that's all they've had their entire time, I would guess that this, if you've been drinking Miller Lite your whole life or Bud Light your whole life, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you like, it's okay. But at the same time, you're used to that level of flavor to that much liquid. You know what I mean? It's kind of thinned out. The flavor is thinned.
Oh, okay.
This is like
The absence of the
concentrate.
level of flavor. Yeah. Okay.
This would like if you've never had anything else, this would blow your head off because there's like so much more flavor.
Yeah.
But it's in that same flavor profile.
And it's high quality too. Like you can just tell that it's very well made and it's not like, kind of cheap or like that.
I'd say the carbonation level on it's perfect.
If you want a good beer, have a chemist make you a beer.
As I say, it was very scientific.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's been scientifically concocted.
What does it say about the water? I saw something about the water.
Water profile, Yorkshire, England, balanced to enhance hop character without excessive bitterness.
So
So they chemically adjust the pH, the water qualities of it. So there's expensive machines.
or
you
did
can
they
get.
import the water from England?
Well, they might have.
It's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. It's like making.
But if he's a chemist, my guess is he knows what to do to it to change the pH or the minerality of it to filter it out or add more, whatever, to match the water profile of Yorkshire. I mean, there's machines you can get that do this on a mass level. So there's a pizza, I forget who it is, there's a pizza company in town apparently. And this guy begged his uncle, like famous New York pizzeria. And this guy begged his uncle for years for the recipe and finally got it. I feel like I talked about this before.
No, maybe before me, but you could say it again.
Yeah, and so he wouldn't let him do it. He's like, no, you can't do it. And finally, he's getting up there in age. He's like, all right, you can do it, but on one condition, you got to make it like we make it up here. And what makes the pizza dough up there so good is the New York water, just the specific pH, minerals, balance, everything else. And so they were thinking about shipping down all this water and realized this is going to cost a ridiculous amount of money to ship all that water. And so they found this machine that can go, you give it like the sample, that analysis, and it does whatever. So you run the Nashville water through it and it turns it into
The same
New York water to
combination.
make the dough with. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
There really is nothing like New York pizza.
I thought you were going to say there's really nothing like New York water. 'Cause that's probably true too.
Well, they do have the best water system in the world. So
Really?
yeah, they import it from the Great Lakes.
Interesting. I do believe I think we talked about this before because I was talking about in Italy is the Roman water. You can drink it out of the fountain. Like they have fountains and coming out of the side of buildings. You can just drink it from there.
Just like a
And it's
limestone
just-
building that just filters it out.
I guess. I don't know. But it's delicious. And you can tell that things made with it are,
Primo.
yeah.
Primo.
That or
It's
you
primo
just,
shit.
that or you
What
just
about
in
all?
the glow of the fact that you're there. I don't know, but it was really good. So I finally got a flavor of something outside of beer with this, and it was a little bit of apples.
Really?
Yeah. That last sip, I just had some apple. But
I mean, you get that little, I get a little bit of, that fruity, a little citrus off of it.
Yeah.
Little light lemon just on the back.
yeah. Okay. There you go. See, yeah, that's what I've been trying to figure out. I always want to make sure that people have a flavor description so they know what they're getting. And this is a hard one.
Wow. I mean, I would just call it old school pale ale.
Yeah, it's really subtle, but you definitely get the citrus notes. Like the more you drink it, I would say.
It warms up a little bit.
All right. Well, mine, I didn't let it warm up. Mine vanished. So
Yeah, mine has mysteriously disappeared as well.
this is definitely a crushable beer.
Yes.
So we'll go into ratings here in a second. But so you worked at a brewery. Tell us a little bit about that. That's in Ohio?
Yep, Cleveland, Ohio. It's one of my first jobs in college, part-time job. It was Boss Dog Brewing in Cleveland Heights. They specialize in hazy IPAs. That's where I learned a lot about beer and kind of really got into something more than a Bud Light or light beers.
Schlitz.
So yeah, party beer. But they specialized in hazy IPAs, so they used Citra Mosaic hops. They had a hipster, Punch Out. They'd also do like a Dog Pound Brown because like the Browns, Cleveland Browns football team. There's a little island in Lake Erie, Put-in-Bay. We had a Put-in-Berry, which is a wheat ale with blueberry kind of flavor in it.
Oh, cool.
So I learned a lot about beer, and that's kind of how I got into trying different beers outside of light beer.
Nice.
Broadened the horizons, right?
Yes.
Now, if you guys are aware, you've probably seen the movie A Christmas Story, right? Christmas classic. Why is that significant to Cleveland, Carly?
The house is in Cleveland.
The house is in Cleveland.
It just sold too, I'm pretty sure.
Really? But they made it like a tourist attraction.
Yeah, I could have swore I heard that it sold, but I could be wrong.
We were there about this time last year to do a lighting job up at an old time pottery. And I was reminded pretty quickly that their march is vastly different than our march.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was every day was a blizzard, lake effect blizzard. It was awful.
Yeah, that
Reminded me of my upbringing in Connecticut and reminded me as to why we didn't go back.
It's like sunny and 56 outside right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
About
quite
right.
nice here.
Yeah. What's it in Cleveland right now, man?
I don't know, I have to look it up. So it's 50 degrees out here. We go to Cleveland. Let's see.
Cold. I'm guessing cold.
It's
Yeah.
36 degrees.
Fuck
yeah.
that.
You know, there's short sleeves abundantly here.
Yes.
That ain't happening up there right now. I like snow for 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days
That's
is
it.
pushing it.
After that, I do not like snow.
That's the thing. If it's snowing, I'm all right with it. I enjoy the snow. It's just when it's cold and windy with like nothing pretty to look at.
Right.
That's when it sucks.
You do know that cold and windy is kind of how snow happens, right?
Did you grow
Yes,
up
but
in
when snow
Cleveland,
happens,
Carly?
there's something pretty to look at.
Did you? Okay.
Yep, went to school and all throughout middle school, high school, college, and then I moved to Nashville in September.
Oh, really? You're just a recent transplant?
Yes.
Nice.
She's fresh to Nashville.
Very-
Okay, so let's give this beer a rating, and then we're going to actually do our second part to this one. This is a long episode because we're going to dive into a new Anthem one after this. So, how did Broomtail stack up? Jim, why don't you start us off with your rating of your choice?
Are we doing scale of 1 to 10? Remind
Whatever
me.
you want.
Whatever. I would say, it's like I said, it's kind of a universal all around, just, chuggable beer or crushable, as you're saying. It's 7. I'd say it's a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Carly?
I was going to say the same thing. 7 out of 10 beers.
Nice.
7 out of 10 beers.
Yeah.
on the straight pale ale scale, it's like an 8.9. It's a great pale ale. It's what I want, when I don't want something super hoppy, but I just want that is drinkable. I enjoyed it. I could drink 3 or 4 of them and not get tired of it. I could drink it out in about any setting. So on the pale ale scale, 8.9. On the beer scale, I'm going like 6.9 on it. I mean, it's not a whole lot of punch. I drink a lot of punch you in the face beers.
You do like getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
I like getting
Just by
punched
beer.
on my tongue.
And how do we not mention
Ooh, let's go in a different direction.
Ben's green jacket that he's wearing?
So,
gorgeous jacket.
we got St. Patty's
St.
coming
Patty's
up.
Day,
I'm
that's right.
going to Dublin for my 40th.
Nice.
Flying out Friday.
You're just turning 40 just now?
Just turning 40.
Oh, my God.
I'm still looking up at the hill. Like it's right. It's right there though. I can kind of like peer over.
See, guys, the thing that Mike and Ben and I go way back about 10 years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
It's
huh?
amazing that I put up with you for this.
closer
I know.
to probably closer to 11 at this point.
Yeah, 2013 is when I joined Crest Honda, buddy.
So yeah, May. So I joined May 1st of 2012.
Yep. And I had no idea. I mean, because you conduct yourself so maturely.
Thank you.
It's not your looks that make you look older. It's the way you conduct yourself.
It's funny. I've got a lot on the phone before. People have walked in like, you're a bit. I'm like, I expected you to be so much older.
I know.
Like, oh, thank you.
So you were 30 years old, 29 years old when you got into the business.
Yeah, I started sales late.
And he looks like Scott Bakula.
Looks almost
back.
exactly
Oh,
like
boy.
it's
Right.
Quantum Leap.
Mm-hmm. The older I get, I find it less so. Like when I was younger, I
Yeah.
felt like it was.
Oh, you still have it, dude.
Yeah, I say, yeah, definitely still. I don't have like the big butt chin.
Right.
Right. Other than that, it's pretty close.
I
I sent a picture. I got to see if I still have it to my parents. Because from the front, nothing alike, right? But from the profile, you get Eli Manning.
I could see
Really?
that. Yeah.
I'll have to
see
find
that.
this, see if I got this picture and show it to you.
Huh. Wow.
I sent it to my parents. I'm like, who's this? And like, you?
We went
I
out to
think my
dinner.
brother got it.
And this is something I've gotten all my life. Even my father has gotten this. We go out to dinner last Friday night at Puckett's down in Columbia, and the guy who the attendant, I guess, was kind of feeling a little wily, I guess you could say. And we walk in. We were early for our reservation, and we're standing there just waiting for him to get through what he's doing. And finally, he just kind of pops up. He's like, "Okay, what do you guys want?" And I'm like, automatically, my hackles are up. I'm going, "The F you just say to me?" And he's like, I said, "Well, we have a reservation for 8:00. Well, we're here, 7:15 or so. If you've got a table, it'd be great, but otherwise we can wait." He goes, "Well, we're only seating for groups of 3 right now, so you'll have to wait at the bar." I'm going, "Okay, are you messing with me? Because I'm starting to see red. My field of view is starting to become orange on its way to red." And then he's like, "I'm just messing with you." I'm like, "Okay, good." He's like, "Did anybody ever tell you?" And I go, "That I look like Bruce Willis?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm going, "Yes, I'm like his fatter younger brother." So. And the funny thing is, my father
Funnier
looked like.
too.
Well, thank you. My father looked like Bruce Willis from Moonlighting
Oh, really?
in that era.
That's funny. Yeah, I just heard he apparently
Yeah.
Bruce Willis has
Dementia
That's
issues.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the. He. Never mind. I had a joke and it fell apart. I was gonna say he died hard.
Come on, where
He
is
was
it?
he's one of my
Where
favorite
is it,
actors.
Jim?
I'll give him.
There we go.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Moment of
Okay.
silence.
Okay. So
I need the guy just doing the lone cough.
about that
I need
beer.
that sound effect of somebody in the background just going. That's a good joke killer too.
So talking about before I go to my rating, talking about somebody messing with you. I was in Vegas this past week actually,
I'm sorry.
and yeah, I know so I'm not a fan, but I was there.
Able Baker Brewery was really good. I hope you went.
Dude, I was stuck in Mandalay Bay the whole time. It was a
It's Northern Strip. You could walk there in 10 minutes.
What were you there for?
no, you can't. It took me half an hour to leave Mandalay Bay via tram just to get to the next block.
Really?
It was insane. No, it's so Mandalay Bay and Four Seasons there is on the very southern end of the strip. They have their own tram to get off the property.
Yeah.
It's like a giant mall with a hotel on top. I mean, there's a casino inside. There's like 12 restaurants and 7 bars. Anyway, but I was there for a financial conference, and I went down to the casino with a bunch of the guys that were there, and 2 of them went to this one Wheel of Fortune thing that the guy normally gets lucky on. He was amazed. He kept winning money on it, and I was like, all right. But the waitress cocktail server came over, and she goes, "Do you want beers?" And I was like, very Russian. Okay. And I said, "Yeah, I'll take I'll get I think I got a Miller Lite, just something simple." And the other guy goes, "What do you want, man?" "I don't know. What do you want?" "I don't know." She goes, "Don't have all day. Give me order." We were like, holy shit.
You Americans take
Respect the game.
forever
She's
when
like,
you
"Come
make your
on,
beer
guys, let's go.
decisions.
Come on. So,
Time is money.
so
In
he was
Mother
like,
Russia, we know exactly what we want 15 minutes before we enter the restaurant.
That's right. And she was intimidating. It was funny, little Russian lady.
gonna kick your
and,
ass.
they both were like, "What is happening?" It's cool, So she leaves, and we were like, "Wow, do not hold her up." So
I used to hate that in the restaurants. You go, "Are y'all ready?" "Yeah, we're ready." "All right, so let me see." My mom does this all the time. Sorry, Mom. Well,
Just
I
make
think
something.
it's like, no, just go and come back and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Give us another minute.
So what was funny is she came back with the beer, and I had a 20 because I didn't know how much it was going to be. And she looks at me and goes, "It's just for tip."
Yeah.
I went,
Yeah, you're sitting at the casino, man. You're is that where you were?
Yeah.
You're
I'm
sitting at the slots?
I'm not a casino. I don't do Vegas.
Yeah, that's a secret, man.
Yeah. Well, okay. So anyway, I went,
I mean,
I just gave her the 20. I was
At
like,
that point,
here
you
go.
have to, right?
Because she also was, again, scary. So, I didn't want to mess. But she immediately went, "I bring you extra round. Thank
That's
you."
right.
And she left. I was like, "Oh, I made a friend."
In Mother Russia, we like
do it.
big tips. You'll get them.
One of the other guys was like, "I think you just saved us."
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Now I will call off KGB, which was waiting for you in the back.
I always like that Yakov joke of in America, on your money you have in God we trust. In Russia, we have no money.
Okay,
Mother
we're way
Russia.
off track.
You're Americans.
You Americans.
Whenever I try to do a Russian accent, I always end up sounding like I'm Dracula.
Well, I'm really hoping that sounded not half bad because typically when I try to do an accent, I always somehow end up sounding like brain damaged Australian. I'm trying to do English and it goes.
My British is awful.
My accent after about 2 sentences will just like cut out into something that just nah.
I had a client request a British accent from me for a voiceover. And I'm going, dude, okay, really? He goes, yeah, what does it sound like? And I tried to do it. He goes, perfect. I go, what? And it was in Vegas when we still lived there. We had a guy living with us, one of our friends who was from England, who apparently was listening in outside the door as I was recording this. And I opened the door and he's standing right there and he goes, "What in God's green earth was that?" And I'm like, apparently he likes it. I don't know. I mean, I suck at that.
That's pretty funny. Hey, whatever works. Paid the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, rating. I will agree. This is probably a 7 overall. Beers. I think this is a great beer. It's easy. I would recommend this to anybody if you just want a good, crushable, drinkable beer. As far as a pale ale goes, I have no complaints. It's a 8.5, 9. I'd say if this guy's a chemist, he's got it figured out.
I like to have some of those other beers.
He's got his beakers lined up right or
I
something.
want a stout.
He's like the Breaking Bad of beers.
That's right, which is better than just the Breaking Bad of meth. So
His name's
good
not Walter
choice,
White.
buddy. Good choice. All right. Well, so we're going to go ahead and
On to the next one.
pause. Do we need to pause for that?
No, we just need
Or
to.
no, we'll just pop it open. Everybody
pop it
empty?
Yeah.
We good?
I'm empty.
All right, give me a sec. We're going to do that. So why don't you tell everybody about this? This is going to be New Anthem Brewery, and then you can tell them about the shade and whatnot. while I
Also
get this.
out of Wilmington. So let me get back there. Oh, thank you, Mike. They started off and they had a small little location. They kind of outgrew it and opened a second one. I don't know quite how long ago. They're using their old location now to do a lot of their essentially a funkatorium is what it sounded like. It sounds like they were doing just mixed wilds and different stuff with it. Still keeping the tap room. That's about all the information they had on their site. They're out to like everyone else. Our philosophy on beer: push on the edges push on the edges every from both the inside and outside. That sentence doesn't make sense to me. So they need to maybe update that. Sorry, that threw me completely off. But no, yeah, it's I'm excited to see what it is. See, a new facility will house our 30-barrel, 4-vessel brew house, spirit barrel aging endeavors, and a second tap room. So I guess at the new place, they're doing all their clean beer, quote unquote. So it sounds like they do a little bit of everything, which I really like. It's always exciting to see somebody that can do a good lager, do a good IPA, do a good stout, do a good wild or sour.
So before we dive into this real quick, go ahead and tell us, Carly, what you found on this is Shade.
Yes. So the New Anthem Shade. It's going to be an IPA with a 6.9 ABV. The hops are Citra. The yeast is English, and the malt is pale wheat oats and C20.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah. They don't have the little 2 underneath. It's like big 2.
They're going serious with that dioxide part.
No, C20. It's just C20.
Oh, I don't know what
So I guess
C20 is.
C20
is probably just the strain of the malt. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So, a couple things. Let's discuss the can first off. Give me a camera so we can show everybody.
Well, I don't know.
I like the artwork on it. Nice labeling.
Yeah.
And Ben, you can describe this one. We'll pass it on.
I don't know. She sounds a lot better doing it than I
All right,
do.
then let Carly do it. I don't care.
She was very descriptive. I'm going to be like, it's orange, it's yellow.
All right, so we've got a very intense scene on this can. We have a man with a long jacket with mysterious eyes. He's all purple, and then in his shadow is the word shade. In the background is telephone poles. It looks like maybe an apocalyptic event. There's some construction in the background, a beaten down car, some cacti. It's a really beautiful can art.
Like a comic book almost.
Yeah, very detailed.
Some manga style.
I love the colors. It's like a sunset on here, and the shade is cool because it really stands out in the purple. Yeah.
Cool. So my understanding is this was originally called Throwing Shade, I think. And then they switched it just Shade. That's my understanding, so I'm limited on this. And it's funny, yeah, his shadow is the shade. It's a very cool can. Their cans used to be very minimalistic. This is not. This is, like you said, it's very comic booky. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like
You
the
got like the little crow familiar friend
Oh, yeah.
flying by.
and I'm sure that their thought on it was to create a little bit of buzz, that maybe each can has its own character and identity to it, similar to the 19 Crimes wine bottles.
Oh, yeah.
You know those?
Oh, yeah, you can video them.
You can video them. You can see actual, it's like a QR kind of thing.
Don't they have a Martha Stewart one?
They have that. They have got Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. So I would imagine the same kind of strategy went into that for the design of the cans.
Cool.
Well,
Well,
that'd be pretty cool. A beer can that you can do. It'll kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
finish out the comic book story or give you like a little piece of the story. Maybe have a whole like series of them so you can get every can.
collectible cans.
That'd be cool. The new NFT.
Yeah.
The NFTs. NFT, beer, BFT. Okay, so this beer is, by the way, something I saw on the can, which was very interesting, contains lactose. So for an IPA, that's interesting. I'm not familiar with that.
A lactose hazy IPA.
And it is very hazy, folks. That is like pineapple juice.
Yeah.
That's
That is-
exactly what I was thinking.
That is
I'll hold it up.
very pale pineapple juice. The head went away very quickly, almost immediately. You just got a little ring of very decent, very micro bubbles, which is cool.
Described by marriage. I'm sorry. I had to go there. Or most marriages. Let's go with that.
Jeez.
Microbe? What? Huh?
So
He said the head went away.
the head.
That's what
there
you're
we go.
referring to. My brain didn't get back that far.
So am I supposed to keep up with? Yeah, I got a 3-second memory for what we're talking about. I just wipe it out immediately. Smell? It's good. Very, very pineapple-y, mango-y, citrusy.
That makes sense. With the haze on it.
It's not, some of these, you pop these things open, and as soon as you pop the can open, like the whole room is like, whoa, you can smell it. This was not that. This, again, more mellow, so it wasn't overpowering. I was sitting here talking and listening to you guys talk, and I didn't smell it.
When you don't have to concentrate on getting it down,
That's a plus.
that's a good thing. Yeah.
All right. So what do we?
It's definitely like a
So many
heavier.
innuendos. Gosh.
It's definitely like a
It took me a
heavier
second,
beer.
but
Heavier beer. Explain.
Like there's a lot of flavor, and I feel like I don't know if it's a lactose or because it's a hazy IPA kind of. It just seems like I could probably only have like half of one, and I'm like, woof, I'm full.
it sits on the tongue.
Yeah.
Kind of gets
It
that
is.
sticks and sits heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy.
It doesn't have this, though, in my opinion.
Doesn't have what?
It doesn't sit on the tongue.
Oh.
Really?
No.
Where's this at?
Back of the throat. I'm talking like, well, now that you're putting me on the
The whole
spot.
time I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
It's got a significant bitterness. If you don't keep sipping it, like if you just let it go for a minute, it hits back of. You're right.
Yeah.
It sits on the
I
back of the
feel
throat,
it
and you
back
feel
there.
it's bitter.
Soft
Yeah.
palate.
But it's not bitter. Like if you let it just hit the tongue initially,
It's got a little bitterness to it.
It's got tang. It's almost like a, I don't want to call it milkiness because I don't want to say that because I was.
But it is. Because
Yeah,
it's the
with the
lactose.
lactose.
Almost a soapiness, not in flavor, but like, how soap leaves kind of a film. You get that little kind of coats for a second and then it kind of washes away. And then the bitterness comes.
And I just want to plug my nonprofit that is all about lactose intolerance. So anybody who is intolerant towards people who are lactose intolerant, check yourselves.
Who's on first?
That's right.
All right.
I got to do this.
What are we doing?
For that joke.
There we go.
Yeah.
Maybe a little.
What flavors does anybody get? Do you get anything specific?
I definitely get the Citra hops. Like it reminds me of the Boss Dog beers. Yeah, definitely fruity. Yeah, just really a lot going on, I feel.
Definitely a little pineapple off of it. It has that kind of tropical, like pineapple OJ almost. Not quite OJ, but.
This is almost mimosa-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to pour some weak OJ in a glass and then throw some champagne
That's
in
good,
it,
though.
this would be this. Yeah,
you
if somebody
still-
likes mimosas, I would tell them to,
You ever
to
never
try
had
this.
Have you never had a beer mosa?
No.
Yeah. So if we get a homegrown for like brunch, well, you're just way out of your way now, isn't it? Keep forgetting you moved. Yeah. They'll do like beer mosas.
What kind of beer would you use with that? Orange juice and like Miller Lite or
Corona,
a light
maybe?
beer?
Yeah, I know. Just a lighter beer. I can't remember what I
Isn't
did
that a
with last
Blue
time I was
Moon
there.
pretty much or
Oh yeah.
beer mosa? It's orange juice.
Yeah, sort of.
Blue Moon would probably work.
All right. So what would this pair well with? What kind of food would you have with this?
Fish.
You had to think on that for a long time, didn't you?
Good
That was
white
like-
fish, like a good sea bass.
Shrimp cocktail.
I would say like bacon pizza.
A little pineapple.
Throwing a curveball, okay?
Wait. Pineapple on a pizza girl?
Oh yeah.
Hawaiian
yeah.
pizza. I got to say, Carly is wearing, I want to say, the shirt of her former employer.
Yes.
Okay. Boss Dog Brewing Company
Yep.
in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's give them a plug. They have a lot of good variety of beers. I
They
would
do.
think. There you go.
And what did you say you were doing here in Nashville now?
I have my own marketing business. that I do websites, social media, graphic design.
And people find this where?
What do you mean?
People find you where?
Marketing person, come on. Where do we
So
go?
I have a website, creativecarlyduggan.com.
All right.
And then my Instagram is creativecarlyd. And the Carly is with 2 E's and a C.
Is it was creativecarlytaken.com?
And that's what a lot of people ask me. Like, I should have bought that domain too.
Can you still?
Probably.
Yeah, go after it.
Yeah.
Not anymore because somebody just heard that and they're like, we're going to steal it.
That's right.
And then
They
try
can
to
pay
sell it to you
$100 for the domain.
That's right.
Hold it, ransom. Give me $200.
Yeah, we tried to find the ales and tales when we so for those of you who are new to the podcast, or I guess it doesn't matter if you're just listening, it doesn't matter. We've got websites we're working on. We've got the Instagram. We've got Facebook page. We've got right now to find all the different podcasting hosts. If you're watching video or if you're listening to a podcast host that you don't prefer, you can go to the Podbean website and it has all the different links to all the podcast sites that we're on. But yeah, when we went to get the
URL.
Ales and Tales URL, it was taken amazingly enough, but the Ales and Tales was taken. The Ales and Tales podcast wasn't it? And
That's why I said Suds with Buds would be so much better. But you didn't listen to me.
sounds like it's a laundry.
Actually, I
podcast.
think my brother used to work at in college. He worked at a place that was a laundromat, but they had like a little tap room in there.
Really?
We had one in Wilmington.
The man at the bar, the
That's a good
bartender was
idea.
also like the manager. And I think it was called Suds and Duds.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
You got to hang
Good
out. You might
idea.
as well get, hammered.
Right? I mean, doing your laundry at the laundromat.
What is
Why is my underwear pink?
what is the most boring thing in the world to do? Fold clothing. So you might as well have a good buzz while you're doing it. Right?
It's an amazing arm workout, man.
Wait, you fold clothing?
Well, I mean,
It's because you got the dirty pile and the clean pile.
is that how that works? What was that about
Put the
maturity
clean
you were
pile-
talking about
put the
earlier?
clean pile up on the chair and you're good to go.
All right.
funny.
So, what do you think? What did you say it pairs with, Jim?
I mean, I was going to say, I mentioned shrimp cocktail before.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Of course, all the things that Carly mentioned, the bacon pizza. I'm like, yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah. And it's amazing to hear everybody else's opinion, and you kind of go, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that, you know. And
I think it's a pretty...
Salmon, you know?
Yeah, I think it would go with a lot of stuff. It's not overly powerful, overly in your face. It's got nice, subtle notes to it. The bitterness on the back end might be the only thing I think that will affect what you would really pair it with.
This is again, what kind I'm the noob here, guys. Let's just put it out there when it comes to beer and things of that nature and how to describe it and what kinds there are. This is IPA.
Yes, this is a lactose IPA.
IPA. Yeah. I'm not big on these. I like this one. So.
Okay. The lactose, I think, will kind of give it a little bit more of that mellow mouth feel, you know, smooths it out.
Yeah.
Makes it go down a little bit easier. Sometimes with IPAs, you get that kind of bite in the back of your throat. Like you said, like the last one, you didn't have to force it to go down.
Right.
Some IPAs I get, and they just catch you right there. And
you have to concentrate.
Take a second. And
you have to almost ready yourself with every sip you take. This you don't. Yeah. It's just enjoyable.
So the downside.
You're going, no, you just drink it.
This is something I could see myself with, you know, my ass in the sand, toes in the water, the Zach Brown song. Let's just go there. I could see myself. This is something I would drink by the ocean side on the beach.
See, this would be too dry for me if I was out in the sun.
Really?
I need something a little juicier, like already.
Yeah.
This like sits on the tongue, like my mouth's kind of dry.
Yeah, you're going to be sitting there feeling like you're chewing on sand after a while. It dries you out.
I'm kind of with Carly. About a half of one of these would be where I would want to be at. Kind of like when, you know, Bearded Iris. Like I like their beers. They're tasty. They're flavorful beers. But a lot of them I get about 8 ounces. And after 8 ounces, I'm good. I'm done.
Now I gotta. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
It'll wear you out. Some beers will wear you out.
Yeah.
You know, the tongue can only handle so much, and it uses. You know,
if it's not enjoyable, what's the point?
Some tongues can handle more than others.
Now, getting back to my beach scene that I painted, Carly, did you go to the beach a lot in Cleveland? I mean, is Lake Erie a beachy lake?
Yeah, there's two different beaches. There's Menor Headlands and other one's escaping my mind, but the Menor Headlands was closest. It was imported sand. My dad would play volleyball on Sundays a lot, so I'd go there in the summertime, especially 4th of July.
It's like going to the beach on a highway because it's such a big thoroughfare for shipping and all sorts of stuff. The Great Lake.
What is the amusement park up that way at the top in the
Cedar Point?
Cedar Point.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go there.
Youngstown. Is it Youngstown?
No, Sandusky.
Sandusky. That's right. Yeah.
There's also Kings Island in
Cincinnati.
Dayton, Cincinnati.
North of Cincinnati.
I've done Kings Island, liked Kings Island. That was fun, but I've not made it up there to Cedar Point. I want to check that out. I love roller coasters.
Do you miss Ohio?
Sometimes. I mean, I like living in the city. Everything's 10 minutes from me. Sometimes I'll miss the snow, like the frozen branches and like everything looks so pretty, but I do not miss scraping my car off with all the ice.
Especially in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have a chainsaw. It gets so thick, I'm sure. You know, it's like that's a lot of snow and a lot of ice up there.
What's the latest in the year you've seen it snow up there?
I've seen May. I don't know if I say June, but definitely May. Like it'll be just a random snow, and it's like, what?
Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah. Wow. I was ready for summer.
You're right there, and it's just,
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's kind of like Nashville. It's to that effect. Nashville will do that to you. You're like, all right, summer. Oh wait, now it's snowing again.
Not to that extent.
No, not to that extent. But it messes with you. You think you're getting there, and then it's totally not.
Well, it was like 80 degrees last week here. It was so nice.
And then we had like 30 degrees, and then it was windy and tornado-like weather yesterday.
It was crazy.
50 to 60 mile an hour sustained winds.
The tree behind our my business office is on Music Row, and there's an alley between the two rows, 16th and 17th Avenue. And the 17th Avenue side, this huge tree fell right. It's basically like right out of our back window and just crushed 3 cars. We were like, oh, yeah. I was sitting there talking to a client. They were on their way out. And I said, wow, it's really wind. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, whoa. It took out a brand new Z71 Tahoe and a Subaru. And it was awful. There's some people out there working on the building next to it that were running. They were still outside working on the building. I was talking to them. They're like, yeah, I heard crackle. And I ran.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, get out of there, man.
Yeah, I lost power for 12 hours yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That was fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's always.
And my
enjoyable.
apartment didn't have emergency lights in the hallways, which I think is illegal.
It is. Very much so.
Shout out to crappy apartment.
Yeah.
You need to
management.
connect us with your management company.
I know.
We
I
can
was
correct
thinking
that.
about making an anonymous call to the fire department, but now they'll see this podcast. I'll have one of my friends make an another call for me.
There you go.
Well, they just know they got to accept whatever offer Jim gives them on the lighting.
Yeah,
right.
lighting guy, you can do it.
Yeah,
You can take care of it.
We can do emergency lights.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
So, all right, let's give this a rating. And wrap it up.
Okay. What'd you learn?
What did you learn? I learned that if I stop drinking this for a while, that it gets bitter enough that makes me want to drink more of it. So there's actually a psychological aspect to this particular beer that says if you quit drinking me, it's going to be bitter. So keep doing it.
Right.
Keep drinking.
I could see that.
I get that with certain sours. I've talked about on old episodes of you get that kind of the lemonade effect of it's just sour enough that it kind of gets that, bitterness in the mouth, whatever it is, makes you water for more.
Yeah, you can't stop.
You want to
Yeah.
wet your whistle.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give this, as far as IPAs go, and I'm on IPAs. It really depends. The more twangy they are, the less I'm a fan. I'm going to give this a 6.5 on the IPA scale. It's good. It's not something I'd go after. I think IPA people would like it. I think people who like to try different stuff with IPAs would like it because it's the lactose added to it. It changes the way it is. On the big all-around beer scale for me, probably a 5, maybe that's where I stay.
That's about where I was at. About a 5 on the. It's just not my style. I mean, I think it's probably better than that. It's just not what I typically gravitate towards. For people that like lactose IPAs, you'll probably like it. It's, still pretty drinkable, like you said. It kind of makes you want to keep going back and drinking more. I have a hard time distinguishing one IPA from another a lot of times. It all just kind of tastes like IPA, and so it's. Part of it is I haven't gone down the rabbit hole of learning the different hops from this one to that one well enough to really appreciate the different nuances. I think if I liked IPAs, I'd really like this one.
All right. Carly, you're an IPA person. What do you think? How's this stack
Yeah.
up in the IPA world?
I think it's delicious, but it's definitely a little bit heavier than I would prefer. The flavor profile is great. It definitely makes me want to keep sipping on it because, it's kind of bitter. My mouth is kind of dry. But yeah, I would recommend this to anyone that likes hazy IPAs or citrus notes. I would say 7 out of 10. Again, 7 out of 10 beers.
Cool. Jim?
I'm going to say because it's I'm not an IPA person that I like this one. I'm going to say it's probably an 8.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And then beer scale, probably about the same because I would actually go out of my way to buy this.
There you go.
All
So that's
right.
good for a person who's not, all over the beer spectrum. That's pretty good.
We're
Kudos,
finding
kudos,
Jim's
shade
style.
people. Yeah,
All right. So new Anthem, you got a new drinker if you can get a hold of it. So that's
that's
good.
right.
All right.
Sponsorships are available.
I wonder if they're just. I don't even know if their distribution is up here. I'm assuming not, since Anthony had to bring this to me. But yeah, so thanks again, Anthony, for that. Appreciate it. Excited to try them. Thank you to Broomtail and New Anthem for coming up with some good stuff for us to give it a whirl. Yeah, try it if you can. If you need an excuse to go to Wilmington, North Carolina, they got a lot of good breweries, so give it a shot. And I guess that's it for this one. So till next time, we're out. Cheers.
All right, cheers guys.
Cheers.